Today we're making DIY outdoor potting mix. Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to make the do-it-yourself potting mix for the garden and for some potted flowers. We have compost from the local municipal composting site, peat moss, and some perlite. Some of this is going to be used for planting carrots in containers in 5-gallon buckets. I did a video on that last year. I've improved my process, so stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that episode coming up. That's going to be really soon. So our goal with this potting mix is about 3 shovelfuls of compost to 2 shovelfuls of peat moss, and then our scoop here, about 1 scoop of perlite into that. We're going to sift it to get out the more woody chunks. That's going to help with the carrots. And the peat moss and compost mix really helps retain moisture and prevent it from becoming just a compacted mess. So hang in there with me. This is going to be pretty easy. It's going to be scooping it into the sifter, giving it a sift, and mixing it up, putting it in buckets. But this is something that maybe somebody is interested in. Bagged potting mix isn't cheap. I paid $26 for this load of compost. This is a half a cubic yard. The peat moss for 55 pounds was $20, and the perlite, this is now on our 2nd year. I don't remember the cost, but it was pretty cheap and it goes a long way. So for about 40 bucks, we'll call it 45 bucks, we're able to make a hell of a lot of potting mix. So that can go for vegetables in containers, flowers in pots. If I have any left over, I have some spots in the yard that I need to treat to help with some grass growing. Here we go, we're going to get underway. I'll fast forward through the parts that aren't of interest. There's 3 healthy scoops of compost. Let's see how easily it screens. I've actually found that the sifter works better coming from this end. The slope of the wheelbarrow is better. So that was pretty quick. And look at the woody parts that we were able to eliminate. We'll add these into a bucket and then put them in our own compost pile to finish up. There's our 2 scoops of peat moss. Give that a quick sift. And again, so here's our first batch. Let's give it a turn with the shovel. This looks really nice. Let's add in our 1 scoop of perlite. I prefer working in the small batches like this, because if you got too much, it's too heavy and just causes more fatigue as you're working. So right now I'm just giving this a good mix up. And then we're gonna grab a bucket. I had to go get a few more buckets. And that small batch is almost the perfect amount. There's maybe 2 handfuls left inside the wheelbarrow to fill a bucket. This is going to be great for carrots. The final preparation for this will be drilling some holes in the sides of the bucket, and we can do that with the dirt in there, it's no problem. That'll allow it to drain. Have some very exciting stuff coming up for carrots. So I'm gonna set this aside and we'll get started on the next ones. So I just finished up my 7th bucket full and we're starting to get some rain. Wind's picking up. So I'm gonna close this out real quick and just talk about a couple of things. If you can find compost from a local municipal compost facility or someplace in your area, it's a fantastic resource. Reusing people's leaves and grass clippings and garden trimmings and whatnot. This is specifically for raised bed mix. It has a little bit of sand mixed in with it. It's a really good product. I've been using it for several years here in the Terra garden. So if you can find a resource like this, use it. Doing your own mix has a little bit of work involved, but you get a much better product. A lot of the potting mixes that you get have a lot of that woody material that we're trying to get rid of. The roots will really thrive better in an unobstructed soil. Peat moss holds the moisture, and it's a great humus that breaks down after a while and adds that nutrient back into your soils. Perlite will hold on to some moisture also and prevent compaction. I spent about 30 minutes sifting and putting in buckets, and I have 7 5-gallon buckets full. Plus a little bit left in the wheelbarrow here that I'm gonna probably top off the rest of the buckets. So I hope you'd enjoyed this episode. Super short, but I just wanted to talk about it because I know that there's people out there who want to save a little bit of money and know what they're putting into their potting mix. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and keep on working toward a better Terra, one DIY project at a time.